Fear and competition can be your best friend.
Season 3 of the Little Bricks podcast is back. We've got some amazing guests. Can't wait for you to see them. We're going to be speaking mental health, addiction, recovery, sales, business, sports, all sorts of topics. Distraction kills dreams. With the people you spend time with, you will become. Tough times don't ever last, but tough people do. I cannot wait to share it with you.
This week's episode of the Little Bricks podcast is sponsored by Bespoke Financial Group, the UK's #1 life insurance broker, helping protect your little bricks too.
So my very good friend, Mike Racz. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, bro. You alright?
Superb, thanks. Thanks for giving up your time.
No problem.
Appreciate how busy you are. For everyone who's listening, tell us about Mike Racz, the story, please. Where did it all start?
The story started in Hungary, a place called I was born there, born and raised in Hungary. Then when I was 21, last year of university, my girlfriend broke up with me. I just figured do something new. So I was supposed to go to America, couldn't get a green card. Hungary joined the EU, so we decided to come to England. Went to Wales, started to work in a factory, and by pure chance I found Domino's. So I started working in Domino's pizza. Loved it, every second of it, fell in love with it. I still do. It's my life, my life's work, my passion, really. And then I decided that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, as far as business is concerned. So opened our first shop. It was 16 years ago in Hartlepool. And we've been doing business ever since. We've been expanding in other businesses, not just Domino's, other franchises, and some of my own concepts, independent businesses as well.
Superb. So when you say you fell in love with Domino's, was it the pizza you fell in love with, the model, the franchise? What part of Domino's did you fall in love with, Mike?
I loved there's a certain pressure that you have to get things done. You've got to make client pizzas coming in. It's the teamwork. It's the whole working together, managing a team. But it's a fairly small kitchen, and we all got to know each other. And you clocked in at 4:00, and you didn't even realize it was 8:00. And I loved every second of it. And I never really liked any of my previous jobs. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know what it was. It's like love. Maybe it's my girlfriend broke up with me before, I don't know, but all of a sudden it's like, I've been here, I actually wanted to stay. Sounds totally weird, but it's the team, it's the pressure, it's the perfection. You can make a pizza perfect, and seeing that, achieving something, and then, cleaning the store, prepping the store, the tops and everything else, that you're fully ready, sending drivers out, meeting KPIs. First time ever in my life I was involved in something that I have, in a job, that I have targets, I've got controls, I've got KPIs, and it's all down to me to manage that and manage my people's expectations, people who worked for me as I was a manager, as well as the customers' expectations that I knew. I always thought that every pizza is a baby, not literally, but it's you looking after somebody's treat, somebody's food. That for you could make a couple of hundred pizzas a night, fine, but for them, it's their treat, it's their. I don't know, I took so much pride in it that I am making your dinner. I will make it as perfect as I can, and I will do my absolute best that it's going to be there with you, piping hot within 30 minutes.
Super.
And as I was 21, it gave me a bit of a purpose.
Super purpose. So, was that now? How many? When we talk about shops that you own, businesses you own, how many do we own, Mike?
Domino's 55, and the others, the likes of Costa Coffee and Anytime Fitness, and like our own brands like Headquarters and Black Olive. We've got about 103-ish at the minute.
103 different business models.
Don't quote me, it might only be 100, but no, not different business models. I think we've only got about 12 or 13 different business models, right. But in terms of businesses or outlets, it's around about 100.
Over 100, right?
Around
that
right.
Figure.
Yeah.
Wow. How many staff?
It's about 2,500.
About
2,500, yeah.
2,500 members of staff?
Yes, that's right. I mean, I remember when we went over 500, and I don't know where things got a bit out of hand, right? So, yeah, we're up to that level at the minute. But we keep on going. It's good. It's good fun.
What did you always want to get to? This level of 100 businesses, 2,500 members. What's the goal?
Okay, so 2 questions there. Did I always want to get to? No, because I didn't know what I wanted. When I was little, I wanted to be a millionaire, right? There's no point beating the bush around, right? We never really had money. In Hungary, not many people had, so I'm like, I just want to be a millionaire. And I didn't quite know how to get there, but I knew I had a thing for business, sales, something. I could always make a little bit of money. So that was just like the initial point. And then a few years ago, we kind of sat down and thought, okay, why do we do this? So it's that core ideology. I'm really quite big into that, where your vision and your purpose. So why do you exist? Why do you do what you do? And what is it that you would like to achieve? So the what is quite sort of like actual goals, right? Which is we aim to be the largest business by turnover and number of team members based in the Northeast. So it's really quite defined. We've got quite a long way to go, but we're making progress. And in terms of why we're doing it, it's for the fun of it. It's for the growth of it. It's because we love building, because we love expanding. We love bringing new concepts into town. Like back in the day, nobody would take certain concepts into Hartlepool because it's Hartlepool. But you know what? We'll do it. They are the underdogs. They were, and it's the Northeast and it's Teesside, and wherever I used to live or work, there was always the deprived area. Stuff you know what? I'll do it, and we will be great because I love that underdog story. Even in the films, I love watching those kind of things, and it's like, yes, you can, and the more people doubt, and I don't really take much satisfaction now, like proving people wrong. It's kind of like a bit boring now, but because it can't be done, it's like, all right, it's we might as well do it. So we do it for the fun of it. We do it because watching people grow and develop sounds a bit cliche or cheesy. Doesn't really matter. It's still the truth that you hire people without that university degree or without a proper qualification, which I don't really possess any, and give them a chance because you think they deserve it, because they will be loyal. You will do anything and everything for them, and they will do the same for you, and that pays back 1,000 times. And it is just really satisfying. Watch people grow. I was a driver for Domino's, right? And then I have so many people who came with me on this journey, starting as a driver, and they could be my CEO or ops director, managing and helping and guiding hundreds or thousands of people. Amazing. It's just truly satisfying. It really is. That's the reason I do it.
The ability to handle, I think part of being a great leader of business, of people, is the ability to handle pressure, process problems, quickly find a solution in a calm manner. Is that something that comes natural to you, Mike, or something you've developed with time?
Definitely not natural. I don't know if people are born with it or not. I really don't know. But when I had only a few businesses, I really suffered with dealing with stress and pressure because it was too much. We weren't making money. We had all kinds of problems at all times. I had a bit of a wake-up call when I almost crashed and died because I was driving too fast and I was going somewhere and all of that, and I was just in pieces. And then I just decided that I either can't grow anymore because there's only one of me, and I want to keep on doing this, but I can't be feeling like this all of the time. So I decided to it's going to sound silly, but Stop stressing about it. Does it help? Does it solve the problem? No, it doesn't. Don't do it. So at the earliest signs of when I feel there's pressure, there's absolutely always pressure every day. It's a constant worry, absolutely. But it doesn't have to turn into stress, I think, because it's not that you're blocking out that feeling. You deal with that feeling. You deal with that problem quickly. And I really think that helped me when I find myself, it could be a crazy driver, not me, or something on the road and people stress about it. Okay, what you doing? Like, does it help?
Yeah.
No, don't do it. So I basically just tell myself, what you doing, mate? Why are you stressing? There's no point. Yeah. That problem ain't gonna go away because you feel that way. Or moaning about it, bitching about it. That problem will still exist.
Yeah.
Solve it. And I really believe that, it's I think the greatest minds are just problem solvers. Complex problems broken down to its most elementary level as a puzzle and solve it and move on and do the next one. And then you learn to enjoy it because that's all you bloody do. All day long you solve problems. And then you get good at it. Then because of your experience, but when you get good at it, you get more confidence. Then you think, I can solve anything until you kind of can't. Yeah. But there is that never-ending search for that limit.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so I kind of solved these problems so far. How far can I go when I hit something in my business life that I can't solve? Well, I don't know. I'm not saying I don't have a limit. I'm not saying people do have limits or not. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not an academic. I don't know. But in my own life, when do I peak? When I'm like, it's enough. It's too much for me. It's too hard. I'm not there yet, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. But in my lifetime, I will, sure as hell, will find out. So that's interesting.
I love that. So I think you're driving at Domino's, the problems you had meeting KPIs, the pressure of meeting deadlines, orders coming in, the pressures that you learned in that shop, in your infancy of your career, problems that you deal with now, although very, very different, is there stuff that you learned then that are still transferable and you can use now?
Yes. So I certainly wasn't a natural leader, if I can call it that. In fact, I think I was a terrible manager. I met all the figures, like food and labor and all of those. I was very, very good at it. But I really do think people probably not hated me, but they certainly disliked me. My staff, my team members. I thought they loved me, but they didn't. So you learn a lot from that, the harsh realization that actually I'm not very popular at all. I was with the business owner, but not with my staff. So when I set up my own, I knew who I don't want to be, and I didn't want to be me.
Right.
And I didn't want to employ people who acted like me.
Really?
Oh, 100%. I made grown men cry on a regular basis. It's the truth. I'm not proud of it. I'm not boasting. I'm ashamed by it. But it is what it is. I was 20, 21?
Yeah.
And
because you were demanding?
Because I didn't really care about your feelings at all. I cared about targets. And I smashed every single one of them. I had my KPIs and I wanted to meet those KPIs. But it doesn't work in real life, right? It backfires if you're an asshole constantly. Yeah. So now, I'm most definitely not the best boss, but I don't manage. I try to lead, and the people I closely work with, they are my family, and I really do care about them. And I'd like to think they know that. We have a very low staff turnover. I look after to the best of my abilities, and they do look after me very, very well. Every single one of them, and it helped in terms of pressure and everything else. I think it's just almost like a daily development. You know how it is in business. You solve bigger and bigger problems. The pressure is more and more, but you live in that sort of environment, so you don't really know any better. But in terms of management style and everything, didn't really learn it from anyone. I just had to learn it from me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here now.
Yeah, of course.
If I hadn't looked back and saying, actually, acknowledge how bad you were, and just don't do it again.
Yeah. Awareness in business, the ability to just know the realisation of where you are, that's a real skill, right? Just be able to go, stop, I don't want to behave like that again, or that got me to this stage, but it won't get me to where I am. Is that something that comes natural to entrepreneurs or leaders?
Again, I don't think so, but I think people set up a business for either no reason or for the wrong reasons. Wrong reason. I set up a business to make a lot of money and have an exit strategy. So I don't believe in exit strategies. I believe in building businesses. If you start something and immediately you think in 5 years' time I'm going to be out and I'm going to make a lot of money, I don't know how you can be successful. I don't think I could be. Or they have no real vision on what is it that they try to achieve. That I open one pizza shop, see what happens. I know, and I knew quite some time ago that I want to grow into this something really quite substantial. It's not 50 units or 100 units or 1,000 units. There's no number on it. Something, something that we all really proud of, a legacy kind of thing, right? Now, if you know where you want to get to, which I do, then I try to design almost this company that how big the office should be, what kind of people I need, what are the business functions, what will I be doing if I reach, I don't know, £1 billion turnover.
Okay.
So you try to build it according to that size company already.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. But again, mate, to tell you the truth, I don't know, because none of us really do know. I never worked for anybody else, never been part of a bigger company. But I'm trying to figure out as I grow. But one thing I do know, I know where I want to get to, and I know why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And that clarity, when in the midst of this chaos, doesn't matter if it's now inflation or COVID or Brexit or whatever else, these are worries, but I'm looking at the next 20, 30 years. I'm looking at what Connie, my daughter, will inherit. And then that gives you that clarity where you can sit down and say, actually, I know exactly what I'm going to do. That seems to work for me.
You get that, yeah. So you seem to be starting with the end in mind and growing into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a fascinating concept. I always think that so many people who are just starting out in business who I speak to, they have this desire to over-plan and over-strategize. And I'm like, well, just where do you want to be?
Yeah.
Let's just start and learn on the way.
Exactly.
Because we see people over-strategize and over-plan, don't we? Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And life will punch you right in the fucking face.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Time. Yeah.
When you started off as a driver, can we just get that story of how you got your first shop, please? Is that okay to share that?
Yeah, sure. Oh, God. It was actually, I'm boring you with dates now, but 1st of May 2005, exactly the date when I had this little book. I wrote down all the little ideas that I'm gonna do, business ideas, where I'm gonna be rich, right?
Visualization.
Yeah, but the visualization, and I wrote down action plans and all kinds of things. And then 1st of May 2005, I binned it and I decided the only thing I want to do is Domino's Pizza. I was working as an area manager, and I had my friend called Roland, and we decided we're going to do this together. And another friend of mine called Alex, he was a Chinese guy, really lovely guy, and he would bring the money, because we had maybe £2,000 or something. Right?
£2,000 16 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, it becomes less. And I decided that that's what I'm going to do. Domino sent me up to Newcastle to work in Newcastle. That was in early 2006. Now at that point, Alex pulled out, so he was the guy with the money. I think he was supposed to give us like £100,000. So it was me and Roland. We took out some personal loans and some credit cards, all maxed out. I think Roland's family helped with like £5,000. But before we were due to open, I mean, I had about 500 quid, no more than 500 quid. That was all me. That was my net worth, right?
It was 16 years ago. This.
It was 2006. It was April 2006. Yes, definitely.
Wow, 500 quid.
Yeah, no, definitely no more than 500 quid. I could find statements made. It was brutal, and so Alex pulled out, but I had to get his money. I went to China, family, friends, and fools, and I was absolutely desperate. I was deep in that I'm doing this. NatWest in the end helped me out, so they gave me a loan. Various people gave me loans, high interest rates, and I still think in business that nothing that I will ever do in the future will be as hard as that.
Really?
Yeah, because you see, in that year, that's what they told us. There were 8,000 applicants to become a franchisee.
One franchisee?
No, so there were 8,000 people applied to become a franchisee in 2005, because I was approved in 2005. And only 7 made it to become a franchisee. Now, I didn't know that. So it's one of those where if I knew it was impossible, I would have never started. Mm. And then I just had that crazy confidence that, well, of course I will be a franchisee because that's all I want. Of course I will open that. It doesn't matter if I don't have money. Mm. I will open that. I think that was roughly the time when a book from Starbucks, Howard Schultz, Pour Your Heart Into It. Fantastic.
What a book.
What a book, right?
What a book.
I mean, he had no money, when
Nothing.
he is
in Seattle.
Sorry?
In Seattle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in Seattle. He moved from New York to Seattle, and I was done it. I mean, that's obviously a hell of a lot more impressive, but I could relate to that because you really want something more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
And people telling you that you can't and you haven't got money and you still do it despite all the odds. It's, I don't think anything else will ever be, for me, as hard in business as that was. And then we opened a store and we thought, wow, we made it, obviously, we're making a lot of money. But I mean, I didn't know I had to pay PAYE. Even VAT was for me is a strange concept.
All new.
I mean, even saying it just sounds tough, but that's the truth. And then I started buying properties. Now this is 2000 and these off-plan properties, right? This is end of 2006 now, and I thought, well, that's it. I did it, right? I'm a businessman. I'm invincible. Look at me, right? And obviously, all those properties were bonkers. Then, kind of the realization we were actually losing money. I thought we were making money, and we were losing money, but I didn't know. I didn't know that because everything is delayed. You pay VAT later and pay by later, and invoices and all of those. And we were thinking, shit, we're going down. We're going down. And the only thing I could think of is to open another Domino's. Oh. So then we opened another one, and we opened another one, and we just went through a cycle of pretty difficult times. But you were under so much pressure that you really had to learn, right? Mm. And there was no one, I didn't have a mentor. Family in Hungary, and they've never done any kind of business. So you're pretty much completely on your own. And then it's do or die. But I put everything on this. I know where to go back. So the alternative, which is to fail, is unacceptable. What would happen, right? So went bankrupt and all of that. I wouldn't be able to work in Domino's. I would go back to Hungary. I had a lot of debt. I dropped out of university. That's just not acceptable to me. So you have to succeed. You really have to. And you burn all your bridges. And then at that point it really is the deep end.
Absolutely. The quote is it, burn the boats behind you. Get to the island, burn the boats.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
There's no going back.
No going back with fought. We're here, we've got to go and fight the army.
Yeah.
So over a 6-month period, you went chasing the money.
That's
you
right.
got your own shop.
Yes.
You started to build more and more and more and more.
Yes.
What's your number one principle in business?
Integrity.
Integrity?
Integrity.
What does integrity mean?
Is what we say we do. We don't cheat, we don't lie, we don't deceive. We do things maybe the hard way, but the honest way. And you can forever hold your head high. It's not to say you've got some righteousness about you, but I might have messed up, but I had all the right intentions. My heart was at the right place. My intentions were pure, and you sleep really well. And it's conducting business or raising a child with absolute integrity. Always, I couldn't think, for me, a better one for our business.
Yeah, I love that. 3 books that any aspiring entrepreneur should read, in your opinion?
I would have to start with Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I just think it's incredible.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich? No, probably not, from Napoleon Hill. It's a good book.
Great book.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Great book.
Yeah. There is one, I can't remember what it's called, with it's a book about 7 entrepreneurs: Andrew Carnegie, George Eastman, Sam Walton. I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
I might have told you that it's like Titans or something. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't read as much as I used to. Maybe
Really?
mainly history books. I mean, I think people get into that sort of self-motivating and that sort of cycle where you need all this motivation. It's from podcasts to books to videos and everything else. And I think it's really brilliant everything we've got access to now. You can go on YouTube, motivational, all that kind of stuff, and it works. I think it's brilliant. But people get into the cycle of watching these and listening to these or reading these endlessly without actually doing anything. There is a point where you've got to implement it. So it's almost like, right, so you kind of like, you should know by now, right? So when you're going to start, it's going to be the doing. Otherwise, it's all conceptual. So it's like, in your head, you imagine it, and then you have to believe it, and then you just have to do it. But once you've done the first and the second, something nudged you to kind of, actually, I want to do something else. So you imagine where you want to be, and then what you want to do, and then you've got to believe it that you're capable of. Where the hell it comes from, I do not know. Maybe a podcast, I don't know. And then once you, step 1 and step 2 done, I think it's already real. If you imagined and believed it, the rest is kind of like the easy part. You just have to do. It just takes a lot of time, hard work, dedication, and all that jazz that everybody knows, right? Then it's just hard work. But most people don't even get to the point of believing that they can. And they really, truly can. Everybody can, everybody could, if they imagined and believed it. I really think that, especially here, I mean, in England, it's just so many opportunities.
Really?
Well, absolutely. I mean, compare it to where I came from, or some other countries. It's easier than ever. I definitely believe that it's easier than ever.
Yeah. So we get conditioned from a child, don't we, about debt's bad, get a big mortgage, pay house off, get a 9 till 5 job. And all them things are great. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But there is another way, right? Yeah.
So my parents believed, just live within your means, and they never borrowed. They had like a loan to build a house, and then they paid it back as quick as they could. Never had a loan ever since. I turned out. Well, I just don't believe in it. My philosophy is borrow as much as you can for as long as you can.
Right.
It actually came from The Apprentice in America.
Right.
One of Donald Trump's advisors said, borrow as much as you can for as long as you can. Remember that.
Great book, by the way.
All right.
Donald Trump, The Art of the Deal. What a book.
Yeah. So until you get to the end and he tells you that you should be using Head and Shoulders shampoo and all of that, you think, what am I reading here? Yeah. But The Art of the Deal is good. So again, it comes with that sort of confidence that the banks will give you, I don't know, interest rate of 2, 3, 4, 5, 10%, doesn't really matter. It does matter, but if you think you can double your money or you get a 30, 40% return every year, then you should borrow that money because you can make more than the interest rate. So it sounds extremely simple and logical, and that's what I tend to do. Mm-hmm. So I believe that I can make more money than the interest. Mm-hmm. So then I borrow the cash and invest it and try not to fuck it up.
Try not to fuck off.
Try not to fuck it up.
What a simple strategy, but works.
Well, it seems to work, but isn't it that there isn't like these big revolutions? Now I get it. Now I understand it. I think it just, you break down, it could be a big or small business, all the complexities into its most elementary level. I borrow that cash, I pay 5%, I reckon I can do 20%. Your profit is 15%. Use that money, you build another one. You prove yourself to the bank will believe in you. Put your projections forward. Now you can borrow 3, 4, 5 times your future profits. If you've got the confidence in you and in your concept, go ahead and do it. It is simple though, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds that simple, yeah. I get it.
Yeah, because it's that whole conceptual thing. And then after that, you just have to do it. You have to be a good salesman. You have to be good with spreadsheets, and you have to believe in your concept. You have to develop your concept. You have to work hard all day, every day. Sure, but it is quite basic, really. 9 to 5, I'm perfectly fine with that. I just couldn't fit in that world.
Yeah,
I had jobs. I used to be everything from stockbroker to I used to work in like a tomato paste factory. I had one job where my only job was to break glass bottles every day.
Well,
that was it, for 8 hours a day. I was smashing glass bottles, so worked in factories and all kinds. But, it's whatever rocks your boat, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really do the whole work-life balance. I think if you don't love what you do, then just move on, do something else. You do you. Should everybody be a businessman? No. Should everybody be a doctor? No. We need all kinds of folks from all walks of life.
Yeah.
But you can be whoever you want to be. You could buy a property, a couple of properties. You could get on the property ladder. Is it hard? Yes, of course it's hard. But it's not to say it's impossible. Loads of people done it before you. You can still build some passive income. You still build up your assets.
Yeah.
And you can still be, you can still have that financial freedom, should you desire it.
100%.
Do or do not. I mean, it's entirely up to you.
It's interesting because you can actually go and get a loan from the bank. Say the interest rate was 10%. You invest in something that the loan will be paid off in 5 years. It's 10% interest rate. So eventually you're actually not making no money for 5 years. But thereafter that, you own this massive asset that is going to chip away and pay you that money forever. It's a no-brainer investment, even if there's no return of income in the first 5 years, right? If you do what you do, you get like more profit than interest. Well, that's a fucking utopia.
Yeah,
money buying money.
That's right, but but again, you have to have that confidence that you believe in yourself and your abilities, and then you have to go out and do it. And isn't it easier not to do it and come up with a reason why?
Yeah.
There's always a reason why not, but you only need one reason to actually, I'm not just going to give it a go. I'm actually going to do it.
Yeah.
And then put all your energy and time into it. It can happen, absolutely. It happened thousands of times.
What about money in the bank? Because we're taught save up for a rainy day. But actually we're getting taught now, new narrative now from Rich Dad, Grant Cardone, Secret to the Millionaire Man, T.R. Becker, great book. Get that money out the bank. It's fucking devaluing very quickly.
Yes, I totally 100% agree with that. I tend to First thing I do is I pay myself. Paying yourself means investing into assets that should appreciate in value in the future. It can backfire, definitely. Yeah. But to me, it's not that cash in the bank. It's about protecting the overall company by sometimes diversifying or investing into other assets, but spending that cash because it's like you said, it's just depreciating in value, especially right now. I mean,
what does that mean then for some people? Because I remember the first time Terry Blackburn, my partner, who you met, great guy. Yeah. Terry said to me for years, "Get your money out of the bank. You lose the money." I'm thinking, the fuck's this guy talking about? Read Rich Dad Poor Dad, read Secrets of the Millionaire Man, thinking, oh, I'm losing money here. When actually, if I could just move that money to there, it can start to give me a yield.
Yes.
The capital gain will obviously go up, my initial investment will go up as well. But a really scary thing to move your money out of your bank account where you can go on your phone and look at it.
Yeah.
It's a scary thought process.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's not there.
Yeah. What is that? What's the meaning of money in the bank being bad, Mike? Just for people who might not understand that.
Well, simply put, especially right now, you've got a level of inflation, call it 10%, and you might get, I don't even know the rate, you get 1, 2, well, maybe 3%. So essentially using 7%. So if you had 100 quid, it's only worth actually £93 because the value of that money is going down, although you still see that £100, but you can just, it's worth less and less and less. And if you put it into something that appreciates in value, it could be a bottle of Macallan whiskey, or it could be a property. It could be as basic as a cash ISA. It could be, you could buy some stocks or shares, something that you don't leverage up, because I don't want to give financial advice to anyone at all. But something that you actually know you believe in. It could be bloody pension, but just don't. The cash is. Yes, cash is king, but you know when people say cash is king when you have an investment opportunity. That's when cash is king.
Yeah, okay.
That's when people say cash is king. Otherwise, it's not. It's
cash is trash. Cash flow.
Cash flow is king. Cash is trash. Yeah, and when you're trying to acquire a business or open something new, that's when cash is king.
Yeah. What's your... Now you're in that position through your work ethic. It's an amazing story. It's a book waiting to happen. I think it's amazing. As a friend, I'm very proud of you. You've inspired me as a mentor, and I'm very grateful for that. To go from a driver to 100 stores, 2,500 staff, families that you're helping, built on integrity and hard work. What's your guilty pleasure? What's the one thing that you really enjoy? The fruits of your labour?
Holidays.
Holidays.
Yeah, I'd say holidays. I haven't travelled for the first 10 plus years in being in business. I didn't miss it. Someone asked me about my sacrifices, because I'm in business, I don't think I've got any or many. But when Connie, my daughter, moved in with me, I was like, you know what, we're going to travel as much as we can, and we're going to visit as many countries as possible. I don't have a holiday of home, yachts, private jets, I don't care about any of that jazz. But visiting a different country as many times as I possibly can is probably, it's 5-6 times a year, 7, 8, as many times as I can.
Wow.
I mean, I'm going to Bratislava on Sunday, back on Wednesday. Never been to Slovakia. Let's go. Just came back from, been to Hungary, been to Spain, been to Dubai. Work doesn't stop. I am constantly on emails, it's no problem. But that would be one where it's bit of guilty pleasure. Yeah. Apart from that, no, that's it.
Cool. Being a father, what's that mean to you?
Everything. She's the reason. She's the thing. When I posted about this, when people say you will slow down when you have her. It's different, and sure, that might be true to some people. I had the opposite. Now she's an extra. She is the ultimate reason why I want to do better, I want to do quicker. I want to make sure that I really don't want her to go through all that I went through, because as much as it builds character, it's awful. It's fucking awful. It's hard. It's so hard. And I do want her to have to have it easier. And I'm not talking money. I'm just talking about that hardship, that I wouldn't want to put on her at all. So she is. If she told me that, Daddy, I will never ever do what you do, and I'm not interested, I literally don't care, I would probably stop.
Would you really?
I probably would, mate. Because then, I've got my people and everybody else, but I would be pretty heartbroken. I'd be like, oh, why am I doing it then? Connie's not the only reason, of course, but she's just my love. I could talk about her forever.
God bless.
Yeah.
Daughters are special. They do something. There are weaknesses, fathers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Daughters are. My daughter won't the same brother. She stole my heart. That girl. No one's getting that back.
Yeah, exactly. Steals your heart, and that's it for life. Locked in. That's it. Chucked the king away. That's it. Yeah, totally with you, mate.
Isn't it amazing how you can go from this person who runs businesses, has to make tough decisions, pressure. Daddy can have this, and we just melt immediately.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's I'm on a trampoline and like bouncy castle and all that. I'm a completely different person. Yeah. Well, maybe not. I don't know, but yeah, she's my everything. Definitely. Mm. That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. Would you ever do a book? Tell your story.
I'm not entirely sure I would do the whole story of me, because I don't know why. I get that it's a little bit interesting. Oh, he was a driver, now he's got a lot of businesses. But it's not that interesting, I don't think, to me at all. Mm. It's more like the learnings and the philosophy behind it. When I get to that point, I think people could relate to that, and that could help people. Yeah. But about my story, no, because I don't think it's that wicked. It's all right,
I think, well, as a friend, I think it's a lot better than all right. It inspires me.
In business, I've done better than a lot of people. That's true, but it's still an opportunity to work hard, and then we're sitting here, and I don't think it's.
Who would you look up to in business where you go, wow?
Don't really.
No. Okay.
No, but okay. Like, it's not that I don't look up to anyone. It's a little bit like watching sports, right? Mm-hmm. I don't watch football, cricket, or anything. I don't play golf. It's not a problem if you do. It's fine. But I don't know what all these people do, because I'm so busy doing and building that I don't really have the time to engage in watching other people do whilst I could be doing. And if I've got that time, I'd rather watch an episode of Stranger Things, with a glass of wine, or do a workout, do some gardening, cut some grass. So I don't know what people are up to in general, which is sounds very ignorant. So I apologize, but
it doesn't. I get you completely.
I mean, okay, take Elon Musk or any of these big guys. I mean, is he a genius? Absolutely. I've got huge respect for everything he's done. I mean, he comes up like, well, I'm just going to build electric cars. Never been done. You drive a Tesla, you know what it's like, breaking that. Then, space, rockets, like I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do PayPal. Yeah. So I think everybody would agree he's a freaking genius, right?
Genius.
But then he goes out and he's like, buy this Bitcoin and crypto, and then comes up with, I buy Twitter, I don't buy Twitter. So do I look up to him? 100%. But I can't relate to everything he says, because I think loads of it is just weird and a bit of a garbage. Maybe you get to that point where you're just so full of yourself that you think whatever you say and do, I mean, that's the ultimate confidence. I don't know, but so, I mean, so many people done amazingly well. Look at yourself.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Look at the guys here in the studio. I mean, they're all amazing.
Yeah,
some of my guys, my fellow franchisees, I mean, everyone's done fantastically well. But there's one person is like an idol thing. It's like,
not sure.
Nah, it's not for me. Like,
one thing, anybody who's watching this right now, the Little Bricks podcast with my good friend, mentor, brother, Mike Racz. One thing, if someone's got an idea and they're going, I really want to try a business out, what would be the one thing they need to do?
they really just actually do it. Don't ask family and friends. I really wouldn't, because they don't know. Find yourself a mentor. Ask someone. Reach out to people that you think they can help you, and listen to your gut, and just really do go for it. Just go for it. You only live once. Get on with it. If you've got a dream, if you really want to do a business, there's nothing actually stopping you. Absolutely nothing stopping you. It's very, very hard. It's a constant worry. It never ever goes away. You don't get a day off. But you're your own boss, and if this is your dream, you will love every second of it. Just go for it.
There we go. Listen, Mike, I'm so grateful for coming on. I've learned loads, as you always do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it.
God bless.
Thank
you so much.
Cheers.
Mike Racz, the Little Bricks Podcast. Thank you.
Join the award-winning team at Bespoke Financial, where you get free training in your own time.